Yeah, first one say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shem, Al Shah, Shem, Kakadash. And the double on the as passing teacher at Messon, from on the shoot, not so Sean wanted, hopeful like of Israel. I'm gonna start here in Amos 5 and 2. It's gonna be pretty quick, straightforward video. And just doing a reading through Amos, or we were doing a reading through the book of Amos. And you had Hosea pretty much saying the same thing, going into the sin of the northern kingdom, but this is applied to the southern kingdom as well, because northern kingdom went off mainly through idolatry, the southern kingdom went off mainly through idolatry. But there's obviously a ton of other shit, frauding, the rich of our people, the leaders taking advantage of the poor of our people, and just all types of inequity, robbery, wickedness, and evil. And the same thing that you see niggas doing now, like, if the pastors take advantage of the people, talking about how, if you put up $1,000, put up another 1,000, make it two. The same type of shit was going on in the ancient world, in our history. It's always been happening with our people. It's why our people have always went in captivity. But just reading through this, it's interesting how you go to Amos 5 and 2, or 1. Hear ye this word which I take up against you, even the lamentation, O house of Israel. The virgin of Israel is fallen, and she shall no more rise. She was taken upon the land. That was not what I wanted. Let me see. Type in. I might just have to type in fallen. Well, I was just looking at it. But the point I wanted to go into was how, really wanted to. There's a verse where it mentioned how none helped her up, referring to our people. And I wanted to go into Luke, I think it's 16 and 21, with the dog licking the source, because our people love to, placate the heathen, go to them for help. And, just going through that, I remembered Egypt, when our people wanted to go back. That wasn't it, but I'll go 11 to 1:7. You also remembered in the days of her affliction, of her miseries and all her pleasant things that she had in days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy, and none did help her. The adversary saw her and did mock her their Sabbaths. Obviously that was because our people, they wanted to take part in the ways of the heathen. They wanted to be assholes. Lord had to where our people had their ass, how our asses kicked. But this wasn't exactly what I wanted. But I remember reading, I think it was in Amos. I was going through the book. But yeah, and I'm gonna go to Luke 16, because you take a look now, because our people prey on each other. And you think about it, because unfortunately I live in nigger land, around niggas. But there's a white college literally right around the corner from me. And there, so you have Edomites moving in the neighborhood, jogging and whatnot, and like it's a rundown nigga area. Now maybe not so much because you have like Edomites businesses moving here, raising the prices of place things, and they're gonna end up pricing niggas out, right? But you have more white people moving here, and you have Jake will oppress and fuck with other Jake, but they won't mess with heathen. You'll have small instances of that happening, but nothing, not, it's not going to happen as much as, you have Jake fucking with other Jake. The main reason I'm getting is that what our people, number one, they're afraid of Esau. For one, they're afraid of heathen, but also they placate the heathen, and they go to all of these people, just going to, how they want, our people want to go back into Egypt. Now, what was going on in Egypt? Like, first of all, Egypt was fucking destroyed. That's for one. But number two, what was going on with Egypt? It was complete fucking slavery and oppression. But our people would rather go back to that and tie themselves to niggas who not only treat them, not looked at them like shit, but treat them like shit just because of comfortability. Just because that desire to be like the heathen. Now, scripture talk about how we were separate from all of these other people. And such is the fate of the king. The king ultimately is separate from the people. Sure, the king may mingle among the people, whatnot, but the king has, once again, the king is of a different echelon than the people. And as heirs to Yahweh Shemal Shai, we're of a different echelon, we're of a different station than the heathen nations. But our people would rather give up abjugate the throne, give up the crown, and to live and die like men, like the heathen. And as a result of that, what take a look at what the heathen did. They don't think highly of our, they look at our people really because it's jealousy and and hate. They've treated our people like shit. But you still have these niggas that will go to the heathen. Like scriptures obviously encourages Esau about how we will go for our enemy for want of all things. Because obviously, Esau has a monopoly on the world. So we have to go there for things. But you also talk about how depart from her. None of those scriptures said depart from her. Pretty much, there is one verse that mentions how the Lord is going to take us out of Babylon, but there's another verse that refers to spiritually departing from America. Not like obviously you may have to be here, but your heart isn't in this place. You don't have that love for the heathen, mainly for the so-called white man, like the rest of our people do. So much to the point of them wanting to go back into slavery and would rather stay here because of what? Because of the comfortability, because those metaphorical leeks and and cucumbers and onions and shit. Those little crumbs that they've been giving our people, and they clung on to that. And sure, you can say, hey, we use these things to get along, but if our people were given the choice to stay in America or to go to the kingdom, they'd stay in America. But what goes on in America? For example, fucking nail salons, you got niggas on gas stations, all of these, and like just how with this whole voting thing, right? The heathen take advantage of our people, and our people, they're pushovers. They just sit there and take it, but they still want to go to them, even though once again, nobody has helped our people. The only time that's ever happened is when the Lord has allowed it to happen. Luke 16:21, 20, and there's a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of soup. 19, there was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple, fine linen, fared sumptuously every day. And there's a certain beggar named Lazarus, which lay at his gate full of sores. And this is a metaphor. It's a correct terminology, referring to the rich man being the so-called white man, and Lazarus, the beggar, being our people full of sores, the curses. And desiring to be fed with crumbs, which is what the little money and the little benefits that Esau uses to as a carrot dangling from our people's forehead or whatnot, leading them around. Fell from the rich Rich man say, but moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And the heathen, being the dogs, came and took advantage of our people in our fucked up state. But our people would rather go to all of them, except for, going to Yahweh Shemal Shai. And they wonder why, they're in the condition that they're in. They wonder why they've been hit with the fucking curses. Because they're doing the very same thing that got us under the curses in the first fucking place. But the main point I found interesting is that verse. I know I was reading the Amos, but that verse is how it makes sure none of these other heathen helped our people up. Which obviously, fuck them. That's not, it's not like say, hey, y'all fucked us over. It ain't saying nothing like that. It's the idea that our people have constantly gotten our ass kicked throughout history by these heathen. None of them gave a fuck about our people, yet our people love them. They have a fervent love for them, for the enemies. And when you go into Psalms 83, it gives a rundown of all of these heathen being our enemies. And they have the track record to fucking prove it. That's another reason why the Lord is going to eviscerate so many of our people. Because when you sit down and think about it, this stuff has been going on for thousands of years. Constantly going to the enemy, constantly worshiping their gods, constantly seeking, desiring after their ways. Our people already had a king, technically. First king was Moses, but obviously didn't have the title of king. But they looked at the heathen, they said, they have kings, we want a king too. We want to be like them. We wanted to partake in that, the fruit, which is the fruit from the tree is it was a knowledge of wickedness. What's the correct word to use? The knowledge of heathen ways. That's the best way I could put that. Our people wanted to take part in that, and as a result, we ended up losing our lifespan. Just like them, your gods, we shall die like men. Since you want to act like them, since you want to be like them, you're going to die like them. All the way to the point now to where our people are damn near non-distinguishable from heathen. Obviously, it's still Jake, but you take a look at how they're doing. Spiritually, they look just like the heathen. Because they're doing those very same things. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. That's how niggas do it, but pretty much it. Hope is up. I hope it made sense. See, all praises, glory, and honor. How about Shema Shah, Hashem, God, Kadash, the ones as possible, teach, great message, from shoot, show on to the Israel instruction about great America.